Test, test, test. Mic check, mic check. Should I yell? No! All right. It's been a long time coming, everyone. I am welcoming you to the John Doe review. My name is Danielle John Doe, obviously. I have a little mic on me. I keep tapping it. And I have about a $40 setup going on in my room. We have a little tripod with a ring light and a little itty bitty mic with a fluffy ball on top and a dream. And we're gonna see where this goes. So the John Doe review came about because I've had, and I'm not exaggerating, numerous people for the past couple of years. Please ignore my dog. If you hear him moving around, he was whining at the door. I had to let him in. Back on topic. I've had numerous people for the last couple of years tell me, you should start a podcast. You should start a podcast. Oh my God, I love hearing you. You should start a podcast. I'm doing it because, well, one, I used to make stupid little videos when I was younger, and I had fun doing that. And two, no, that was about it. I made stupid videos and I had fun doing it. So this is like another version of that. For those of you just listening, I am also recording this visually to post on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like. No pressure. But other than that, yeah, this is just for fun. This is a podcast where my goal is to upload a video every 2-ish weeks, and I'm going to be reviewing, see what I did there, those 2 weeks in my life. And actually, this is kind of my last minute New Year's resolution where I'm setting a goal of, at least for the year, doing a video every 2-ish weeks. Will we hit that goal? I don't know, but this is for all the people, from my friends to my family to my co-workers up until 2 days ago, telling me, start a podcast. I'm doing it. We're doing it live. Okay. So how this podcast is going to kind of work is, yes, I'll be talking about, the last 2 weeks, but we will have specific topics, people, okay? I'm not going to be all over the place for the most part. So today's topics, I'm pulling out my handy dandy iPad, is going to be stories from my honeymoon regarding parents and children. We'll get there. I did honeymoon at Universal and Disney, so that should already tell you enough. We're going to be going over a couple of shows I've been getting into lately because I have been on vacation for the most part of the last 2 weeks. So Percy Jackson, he did Rivalry, and Attack on Titan because I've been harassed into watching it. And I started a couple of, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. And then after that, we'll just have little quick bits, talking about reading. I love reading. I'll have a little story from this morning that made me mad. And then since this is the John Doe review, I'm going to leave myself, or rather my life, a review out of 5 stars. And you got to stay until the end to know what I rated the last 2 weeks. So here we go. Topic 1. So for those of you who don't know, I got married last month, December 13th, 2025. We got married specifically on that date. I had people tell me, oh, the 13th, that's an unlucky number, blah, blah, blah. My husband actually majored in math in college, and he realized that the date, December 13th, 2025, was a math equation. So he liked that it was 12 plus 13 equals 25. And honestly, for me, that makes it easy to remember. So I had no complaints there. But so we got married like mid-ish December, and then we left for our honeymoon to Orlando the day after Christmas. Yeah, we left the 26th, and that was fun. We knew doing it, and it being Universal and Disney back to back to back to back to back was going to be a challenge. We knew it was going to be crowded. We knew there would be a lot of kids. And look, I don't mind children in public spaces. I'm not one of those people who's like, I don't want to hear a baby cry. I don't care. People have kids. Why I'm bringing up parents and children on our honeymoon. We specifically did EPCOT for New Year's Eve, right? Because, you know, drink around the world, all of that. Did we make it around the world? No, because we both got sick. Not pukey sick, sick, and it wasn't a good time. But we did what we could. We still had fun. But there was a large glaring issue in the park. It's Orlando, Florida. You would think it would be, you know, humid, hot. When we went, those last couple of days, it was in like the 40s or 30s, like at night. And on New Year's Eve, we were there until 1 a.m. People had brought their literal infant, fresh out the box babies to EPCOT on New Year's Eve. Mind you, Japan was turned, okay? We're unsing. And there's a 1-year-old crying next to me, freezing their ass off. Why did parents think that was a good idea? I don't know. My opinion. You didn't ask for it. I'm gonna give it. Don't bring your infant child to Disney. Honestly, I could stop there. Don't bring your infant or young child to New Year's Eve at Disney in 30-degree weather and expect them to have a good time. Some of these parents were yelling at their kids and I felt so bad. And I'm like, no, they're hungry. It's 1 a.m. Honestly, I'd be crying too. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty fun. I had a great time. While we were there, we kept seeing an ad for this. Okay, I don't know about you guys. I'm all over the place. You got to get used to it. I love documentaries of all kinds. They can be like super goofy, they can be super stupid and fun, or they can be like super, super serious, super like, oh my God, this is awful to hear. And that in the mix of that spectrum is nature documentaries. Me and Hunter, my husband, have never watched a nature documentary. We've never broached the topic of nature documentaries, right? While we're at Disney, we keep seeing ads for this new documentary called Cheetahs Up Close. And apparently it's like the best freaking documentary about cheetahs that's ever happened. Whatever. I don't know. I kept side-eyeing it because I wanted to watch it, but I didn't want to bring it up to Hunter on the honeymoon because I'm like, this is going to sound so lame. We're here to party. We're here to ride rides. We're here to drink, all of that. I don't think at any point he's going to want to, you know, slow down and watch Cheetahs Up Close. So, I just kept it to myself. I kept the thought to myself. and thinking back, I should have known that Hunter would be down to watch that because he's one of those people who like, he'll watch anything with you. If he's on the couch and you want to put something on, he'll watch it and he'll like actually pay attention. But so we get back home. There was a night that I couldn't sleep and I watched like secretly while he's knocked out next to me because he's a very, very heavy sleeper. He's knocked out next to me and I'm rolled on my side with my phone up to my face and the volume like all the way down, like secretly watching cheetahs up close and oh my God, and they can run so fast, but there's so many predators. And, they took their meal and will the cubs make it to adulthood? And it was a whole thing. And it was honestly really, really good. Shout out Cheetahs Up Close. But I didn't finish it. Fast forward a couple of days, I honestly forgot about it. And I'm, TMI, I'm on the toilet. Hunter is in the living room and I hear from the living room, because he's like setting up Disney Plus, because we were going to watch Percy Jackson, which I'll get there in a second. I hear from the living room, he goes, "Were you watching Cheetahs Up Close?" And I remember sitting on the toilet and just freezing. And I was like, okay, he's either about to roast me and be like, nerd. But knowing Hunter, if you know Hunter, he has no right to be calling anyone a nerd. But so I braced for that, or I was expecting him to be like, oh, I wanted to watch it. I kind of got a mix of the two. He started laughing hysterically. And he was like, out of all the things you try to keep a secret, it's the fact that you wanted to watch Cheetahs Up Close. And look, I have my interests, okay? And sometimes I'm a little scared that somebody's going to judge me, okay? Cheetahs Up Close. Not everybody's going to watch it, okay? But I had a great time. And he said for the most part, he actually was interested in watching it because he had seen the ads too, but we just never verbalized, hey, do you want to watch Cheetahs Up Close? But yeah, going on to shows that we actively both are watching. We started the Percy Jackson series because I was a huge fan of the books when I was younger. Like I read them, I think I was still in elementary school, but I only read up to like the second book in the other series where it starts with like the Lost Hero and then there's that second book. I don't even know if I actually started the second book. Anyways, I'm a big fan. We started it because I kept seeing TikToks of Percabeth. Like people were like, oh my God, Percabeth, which if you haven't watched Percy Jackson, the girl he ultimately ends up with, her name is Annabeth. And so their ship name is Percabeth, right? And I kept seeing TikToks like, oh my God, they're doing Percabeth so early and so I had my interest piqued. They were such a cute couple from what I remember, because I haven't read the books in literally over a decade. But from what I remember, they don't like get together until pretty far into the series. And I know the show's in season 2. And so I decided to watch it. Just because I had watched the movies and they weren't bad. The movies actually are the reason I ended up reading the books, because I really liked the movies and then I saw so many people shitting on them. And I was a little confused because I was like, I thought they were great. And then I read the books and then I got it. I got the issue. I think they're good movies if they weren't referencing context from the books, but they are, and so they were pretty far off. But so I was curious to see how the show was handling that, and to hear that Percabeth was already happening and we're only in season 2, I was like, I wonder how they're doing this adaptation. Started watching it. I love it. I'm having a great time. I think the couple is so cute. I think they're doing it so adorably. My only qualm with the series, if you read the books, Clarice is supposed to be, sorry, cat hair on my mouth. Okay. Clarice from the books is supposed to be like a built, like football player-esque, strong woman body. In the show, she's beautiful. And I'm not saying Clarice in the book wasn't pretty, but that wasn't something that, like the actress who plays Clarice looks like she would have been Aphrodite's daughter. Like, that's the vibe she gives off. I imagine Clarice is like a sporty looking girl with like bigger muscles, stuff like that. No, they didn't give us that. That's not my only qualm with the actress. The first part, the casting, that's not her issue. But when it comes to the acting of the character, I think she's played like a little bitch. And I get it. In the book, it's supposed to be, you know, the whole stereotypical, oh, no, the bully is actually so sensitive. Oh. But she's still supposed to be a badass. And this actress plays Clarice so like Jackson. I'm like, there's nothing intimidating about her. All of the ways she delivers the lines, and this also could be directing. I bet it's not just the actress's idea, but I understand it's a children's book that you're basing it off of. So there's gonna be the corny, you know, oh, she's gonna trip him and call him names and ha 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 and bully. But it gives exactly that, which I feel like in a visual form, it's not hitting. Like in the book, when I'm 12 years old reading it, sure, oh my gosh, she's such a bully. Oh. But when I'm watching a stereotypically gorgeous girl call a kid Jackson and be responded to like she's this like super intimidating presence, it just doesn't make sense. Because I look at her and I'm like, girl, I don't think you could throw anything across a room, okay? Moving on to Heated Rivalry. Pause for dramatic effect, if I do say so myself. Look, I'm gonna say something controversial but brave. Am I one to typically partake in the viewing of two men? Mm-mm. Did I finish the entire season in one sitting? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Am I planning on rewatching it? I'll let you figure that out for yourself. If you have not watched Heated Rivalry, look, get past the first episode. It's a lot of once you get past that, the love story is so tea. Oh my god. Like, I actually got emotional for some of the moments because the acting is so good. And I love and I live for an enemies to lovers, and that's exactly what it is. And so yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot if you haven't. Lastly, for shows. Attack on Titan. I know, I'm late. Surprisingly, I haven't seen any insanely major spoilers for the show. I've seen like little stuff that I had already kind of assumed would happen because I've actually fully seen the first season and started the second season years ago. And then I just fell off and I never picked it back up. And I've had multiple people telling me, you need to watch it, you need to finish it, it's so amazing, blah, 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 blah. And so finally, I'm doing it. And it's good. My only thing, and I forget that animes are like this, if you've never watched an anime, they're gonna have a 45-minute long intro sequence that's gonna consist of the usually amazing rock song for that season, and then a recap. And then they're gonna have like a 2-minute plot of what actually happens that episode, and then they're gonna have like a 10-minute epilogue and a preview for the next week. And so with Attack on Titan, I think the total time on these episodes is like 25 minutes, and every single time we end up skipping about 5 minutes at the front, and then the episode ends with about 3-4 minutes left. And I forgot that, like, we're already almost halfway through. No, we're over halfway through season 1. And I remember being like, wow, that was fast. And then I realized as I saw Hunter skipping that we're watching like 10-minute increments of a story. But good on them, because it is a very interesting 10 minutes. And every time they end on a cliffhanger. But yeah, I think it's great so far. I mean, I forgot a lot, but I remember enough to where I'm like, ooh, foreshadowing. And I keep hearing, AOT, the foreshadowing is crazy, oh my god. And I watched it back 3 times, and every time I saw something new. So I'm trying to keep an eye out for anything that I might have missed the first time. All right, well, now we're kind of approaching the end of the topics that I had. The last little things I wanted to talk about, I'm kind of in a reading slump right now. So if you're somebody who reads regularly and you have some recommendations, let me know, please. Favorite genres? Romantasy. Look, it's not all fairy smut. Some of it is great world building and a little bit of romance. Okay? And so, does it get graphic sometimes? Yes, but not all the time. And you can't judge. And even if it does get graphic, the plot's still plotting. So who am I to complain? Other than romantasy, normal romance, sci-fi, and like dystopian. Oh, my tripod just dropped a little bit, and we're gonna keep it there. We're gonna keep rolling because we're almost done. Stay with me. And then I mentioned this at the beginning of this recording / video, depending on how you're consuming this. A little story from this morning that I carried with me all day. Not actually, but I ranted about it to my coworkers, and they kept saying, you should do it on your podcast. So here's my thing with driving. If I am making an unprotected left turn at an intersection where the lanes are going opposite directions, Do not honk at me when I don't go. Here's my reasoning. So my neighborhood is like very, very familial. Like there's a bunch of families, a bunch of kids. And so every morning it gets a little backed up getting out of the neighborhood, right? So my route to my job, I basically get to the end of the neighborhood, but then I have to make a left. In the street that's directly in front of me, it's two streets, one going to my right, and then right next to it is a street going to my left, right? So it's opposite directions. And the one that's closest to me, that is not the street I'm trying to turn on, right? Because it's oncoming traffic. That street usually is really backed up, either with buses or just like parents dropping off their kids, right? So for the most part, it usually takes a little bit longer to make that left turn, but sometimes people are stupid and then they stop their car. Let's say the light turns red and the line backs up. They will stop their car in the middle of the intersection. So then I can't make my left because there's a whole car in front of my car, right? So that's out of my control. I can't do anything about that. So the issue is sometimes cars line up behind me at that point, right? Because we're all trying to make a left here. Okay, we're all trying to go to work. Sometimes cars get impatient because I'm not going, right? Because what was happening is people kept stopping in the middle, and then the traffic would go, and then they would stop in the middle, and then the traffic would go, and then it just kept going on and on and on. And usually my community is pretty good about that. Usually people don't stop in the middle, but today we're getting back from break. I think this was the first day back to school for a couple of school districts. So I get it. We're getting back into the feel of things. Okay, we forgot how traffic works and where you're supposed to stop. Sure. That's not the problem. I'm at the front of the line. I'm looking left around a very like harsh corner to our neighborhood. So like I'm the only person who can see what's around the corner. Cars start honking. Okay. It's the two cars behind me. So you know what? The car directly behind me, I feel like she knows what's up. She's sitting quietly. The two cars in the back, out of the four of us, they, fucking passive aggressively accelerate to the left of my car. And then they squeeze their way through the stopped cars that are blocking the intersection. And then again, passive aggressively shoot off on the other side to make the left. Which passive aggressive accelerating, so stupid because you're going 20 miles an hour. You're making all that noise to go maybe 20. But that's besides the point. So then the car behind me, which I thought we were cool, she then honks at me because I don't do the same thing. One, I flip her off. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, the two little sedans that squeezed through Satan's ass crack to make the frickin' left and get to work maybe 30 seconds quicker than they would have before. I'm not doing that. I drive a Toyota Highlander. I drive a big body bitch. She's not squeezing through. And even if I could finesse her through that gap, I'm not risking scratching my car. I'm not doing it to get to work earlier. No. So I flip her off. She's like this older lady. She's behind me. She's, oh my God, but you could have gone. No, you idiot. So then the light turns green, traffic starts moving again. She starts trying to edge around my car to the right side of me. I'm like, you dumbass. If you're going to try to do the whole passive aggressive go around me thing, why would you go to the right side of me where you even less can see what's around the corner? Anyways, I'm looking at her like, you're a fucking idiot. So then I see there's a gap in traffic. I proceed to go. She comes with me into the median and we're just parallel. And I'm just looking at her like, Susan, well, what are we going to do now? Are you going to just ram into my car? Anyways, I make the left. It's fine. But then I was annoyed because then guess what? She and I were together for the next 10 minutes. Because guess what's after that left turn out of the neighborhood? Stoplights. So she did all of that. And the other cars who zooted off did all of that just for us to still be on the same timeline. And What did it for me is I got to work 2 minutes earlier than Maps had said. So, all of that for nothing. Well, if you've made it this far, we are now approaching the close of this episode. I'm trying to keep these short. You know, I don't think anybody wants to hear me yap for an entire hour. If you do, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I don't know how this works. I don't even know where I'm putting this video. I'm essentially shouting out into the void, hoping, come on now, hoping that someone will listen, you know, maybe get a giggle, maybe relate. This is for fun. And you know what? You know what, guys? I had fun. So I hope you did too. Before I officially sign off, I need to leave a review for the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna give it encapsulating, I think that's a word, encapsulating the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. A pretty solid 2-week experience. Got back from my honeymoon. That was awesome. Had to go back to work. Not so awesome. Happy to have a job though. Don't get me wrong. Had people annoy me on my car ride to work. I didn't even mention this, but Hunter got back from Orlando today. He had a baked potato in the airport on his way to Orlando a couple of days ago, and he sent me a video of him eating it, and it looked amazing. It had brisket on it, and I was so jealous, and I had him chew close to the microphone and everything. But he surprised me with it right before I started recording. He got home from the airport. He had bought one when he landed and gave it to me for dinner. So yeah, 4 stars. You know what? Including the potato, because I was going to do 4 stars without the potato. Including the potato, 4.2 stars. Shout out that potato. And shout out you guys for listening. This is the John Doe Review. Signing off. Yoo-hoo. I don't know how to close these out. Sorry, I'm back. One thing I forgot to mention, controversial but brave. Titan Aaron? Titan Aaron. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I'm not mad at it. All right. Bye, guys.